the more we go to these desolate places, the safer and cleaner they become.
Yeah, shine a light on it.
People start caring. People start picking up trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I have, like, and that's kind of the really cool thing about using my city as my sketchbook, is I've gotten to watch places where I will see people reach down and pick up a piece of trash and walk it and put it in a dumpster. You know, even
it's their home.
Right. But I mean, it's
and
just like the
respect
civic
for that art.
Right. And the civic pride. Like during, you know, all the BLM protests, people were angry. And, you know, whatever your leanings are, what happened to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor is horrific. You know, like people shouldn't be shot running or laying in bed at night or over a fake $20 bill. No matter what your political leanings are, people are upset.
Right and wrong.
People are upset because people died, right? And that is upsetting. And so people were tagging everything. And like,
not your pieces.
No, not my.
Praise God.
It was like walking this way, everything's tagged. You'd hit one of my murals, nothing. Next corner, everything tagged. It's like somehow in what I was communicating, it communicated that I gave a shit about the same things. Sorry, I said shit.
It's all good.
Okay.
I think I just said the F word anyway. It's all good. Then we're just keeping it real.
So I was just so proud. I wasn't like, oh no, my work might get tagged. It was more like, I really hope how much I care about this city and I care about everyone who lives here comes out in the artwork enough that somebody who's angry with a spray can knows I'm on their side. But my work isn't angry. It's not supposed to be. It's playful.
Mm-hmm. Lighthearted.
It's beautiful. It's a pace that it comes from a completely optimistic place. And in my TED Talk, that's really what I talked about was my husband was killed by gun violence when my son was 6 months old. And I came home within 20 minutes of it happening and tried to resuscitate my husband to no avail. The man didn't know our family. Officers who were the detectives and helped in our case said there's one case pretty much a year in Sacramento where literally like a person knows nobody. It's just an off chance random thing that happens. And it was, this guy was on meth, his car had broken down. The UPS driver came to deliver a cookbook that Dennis bought me.
Aww.
Saw me not come to the door. I had Hunter at the mall because we were supposed to go on our first date away from the baby, and walked out to my car and like had this gut feeling that I needed to go back in the mall, and it was like no logic. I walked all the way to the car. Hunter was really hungry. He wanted a bottle. It was raining, so anybody who's ever pushed a stroller...
Yeah, not a fun time.
Not a fun time, especially to like turn in the rain and go back in. And it wasn't like something horrible was going to happen. It wasn't that. It was like I was obsessing about a strapless bra. I was like, oh, this shirt I bought, I don't know if I have the right bra. But I have a couple strapless bras, and I'm like going through this thing, and I'm like, I'm just going to turn around and buy the bra. But it was a miracle bra, literally, because it gave me the 20 minutes that it would have been Hunter and I that would have walked into the house. And like to overcome that, to figure out how I was going to survive in the world and show my son that even though he was always going to know monsters, right? You know, and it was such a big deal. It was all over TV, and, you know, the trial didn't happen until 3 years later, even though they caught the guy within an hour.
Wow.
Of everything that happened. It just takes a long time and for them to put all the evidence together. And so, you know, Hunter was 3 when the trial was happening. We're very close to Dennis's whole family. Like, there was no way that Hunter was, like, I wasn't going to hide it from him, right? Like, or pretend that didn't happen, or all of a sudden at 18 tell him his dad's not his real dad, or I don't know how other families handle it, but like, Hunter, this has just always been a part of his being. And so to go through that with him was like, how am I going to show him that, like, yes, you're always going to know the world's ugly, but we have a choice whether we want to be a part of the ugliness or a part of making it better.
Mm-hmm.
And
the problem or the solution.
Right. It took me a while to figure out how to be a part of the solution. But I also knew painting aggressive, angry, hurt paintings hurt me.
Yeah.
You know, and some people that's so cathartic. And I can see pieces. Pablo Picasso has such why this is such a terrible time.
I have to Google it.
In Madrid, he painted a giant piece about the war in Spain and about people losing their lives during World War II, and it's phenomenal.
And
And
it's
it's
abstract?
hurt. It's abstract.
Okay.
It's cubist. It's
Wow.
hurt. It's sad. You get all of that. That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also finding that way of like sorority girl who has just had life handed to her on a silver plate. And a lot of times outwards when you don't know people, you're just like, oh, well, she looks like she has a fabulous life. Like, what could be so bad? You know, and when you don't know somebody's backstory, sometimes you can be very dismissive. And I found with a lot of people with my art, before I was doing murals, it was very, well, that's pretty. And oh, her dress is pretty and that makes sense. And whatever, she's not deep. And to be able to not prove to anybody I'm deep, because I don't have to. You know, when you go through something like that, you find depth you just didn't. And yet, frankly, you didn't want to know you had. You know, like,
I
I
know where you're coming from.
Yeah. But it becomes a part of you, and then how are you going to live with that inside you? But, like, just being able to say, yeah, in the face of tragedy, in the face of horrible sadness, I have to find laughter. I have to find beauty. Like, that is my protest.
Well, I think all of us could take lesson from that instead of seeking out, all the negatives. I mean, my husband has said that I'm one of the most positive people he knows. I'm always glass half full, and I don't know any other way.
Right.
And it rubs off on other people too.
Totally.
But a lot of times, just being around people with that energy, it trickles down, which is really powerful.
It does, and then you have to protect your energy.
Yeah, that's I'm learning.
You have to protect your energy because so many people need that uplift, but you can't be that uplift for everybody, you know? Because you need that stillness and to do your creative outlet, to have big ideas and other things, and you can't always be that boost, which for me, being a super positive person too, from a little kid, my mom was like, Maren sees the world with rose-colored glasses. Like,
I love that.
Yeah, I do. But I mean, at the same time, you just have to be like, yep, and I'm going to buy snake oil every once in a while because I'm like, he said it was snake oil and totally believe, there's like a trustingness and a thing that goes along. But I mean, I would rather have taken the chance to believe in somebody and have them prove me wrong than to have not believed in somebody who was worth believing in. Being happy for somebody else's success costs you nothing. It's like the most free, generous, loving thing you can give. Sunday yesterday, there's just this hum of giggle and laughter in the city again, and like the heartbeat starting to come back. And it's like, man, I hope we're all closer and more appreciative of each other after this.
You gotta just kind of jump through the hoops and enjoy quality time. And I know for me, I've picked up the phone more often than just shooting a text, which was totally out of character for me. So that was a positive that came out of it, and staying closer to family and just the things that matter.
And kind of shrinking your circle, and like also kind of having to redefine friendships in a way, and kind of choose who's closest to you,
who is contributing to my joy.
Yeah, because when you have to limit your bubble,
choose those people carefully.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And just being kind of like thankful for our health.
It definitely is a blessing every day. I thank God for my health.
Well, and it's something that I think, especially as an artist, was kind of funny for me because like no checks are guaranteed. It's like it's hustle and figuring stuff out, and to watch everyone around me have to face my reality was super interesting. To watch the amount of panic, but I did everything right, and you're like, yeah, so do creatives. We do everything right, but it doesn't mean your book's going to get picked up, and it doesn't mean somebody's going to buy your painting. It's so much uncertainty. And
just having faith.
Yeah. I mean, in your job, you have to deal with health insecurity. You are around touching people constantly. You have to be very aware of your health. Which you are through yoga and working out, and you take good care of yourself because you need to. Because your job demands that of you.
Yeah, I can't do my job distantly.
No.
Unless I teach my clients how to inject themselves with Botox, that would be interesting.
Oh my gosh, please don't make me do that on Zoom. Could you imagine?
I love what I do, so yeah.